Hello, everybody. Got a great match today. A TVZ on Runes of Ceres. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of the map, it is the red Terran Blitz excloud.
And in the bottom right, in the green, Born Gosu's Drujo. And so now, both these players, I think, very good for their ranks. I believe they both have winning records overall. I know XCloud does actually, yeah, XCloud does like to go for a little bit later game. Not really a fan of like the proxies or anything like that. Do you know anything about Drujo's play?
I don't know anything, but what you said earlier is being very good for their leagues. XCloud was promoted to Plat, so he already kind of comes in with the advantage. But it is the finals. Each player, worked incredibly hard. Born Gosu and Lit we've both had their captains on the CTL weekly, and they both discuss how hard each team practices, how they prepare, they scout their opponents. So it's a pretty even match.
Yeah, I think this is definitely has the potential to be one of the best series in the entire season. Honestly, I mean, both these teams, yeah, like you said, they practice a lot, and yeah, should be pretty interesting. Neither player going for anything tip very cheeky. XCloud choosing not to get an expansion right now, but it looks like he is banking to get that. Or not, whatever. Hatchery and gas coming out for Drujo with spawning pool on the way now. So very economic from him. Nothing too early coming out.
Both very safe builds, both wanting to expand. There was XCloud's expansion right there. But a Reaper expansion is great just for scouting out your opponent. Zerg doesn't really do proxies, so he's not really going to be running around the map, which allows him to kind of hop in and out of Drujo's space. But it's very, very important that he does not lose that Reaper, because a lot of Zerg openings kind of look the same, especially with this hatch gas pool opening. It can turn into a roach sling all in just like that. So it's going to be very, very important to keep this Reaper alive. But he already has an SCV in the base of Drujo. He's going to scout out the positions. And he's going to see the creep, sees the early expansion, and he'll walk in, see the gas still harvesting. 3 harvesters still on gas. And the pool is upgrading wing speed.
Did he actually... He didn't see that the pool was moving there.
Yeah, as I was saying that, I was like... As I was saying that, I was like, I don't think he notices the pool's wiggling, because it was just on like the edge of his vision. But the Reaper will be able to notice it.
For sure. If Drujo does play this right, the Reaper won't be able to get up because the only way in is through that ramp. And right.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But
this map's awful for Reapers.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the Reaper's choosing to do too much. Just holding that watchtower and keeping vision. Factory finishing up now for XCloud with an engineering bay on the way, nice and safe.
It looks like it's going to be Hellions.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely switching over the factory now. Starport on the way. Yeah, definitely looks like some Hellions are going to be on the field.
I think Hellions have kind of fallen out of favor more so in Heart of the Swarm. I felt like every TVZ I watched, it was always, always, always Hellions. Saw a lot of aggressive Hellbat pushes, which this could possibly be one too. And you don't see them too often, but I still really like them. They're great for early pressure. They're surprisingly good against roaches. They're obviously really, really good against lings. So I hope to see more of them in the future. I'm trying to learn some builds now, but it's hard because if you lose them, you lose all map control.
Yeah, they're definitely very important for XCloud to keep alive here. Looks like he is just going to be continuing to pump those out. And, I mean, so far it looks like he's in a good position to do some damage there. Fusion Core now coming down for XCloud. That's interesting.
Dude, this is the bunny build. He's going to get the assuming he might go battle cruisers. I would love that too. But my guess is he's going to pump out some liberators, get out the +4 upgrade, and try to harass him while he pushes with Hellions at the front.
I would actually really like that. I think that could do some definite damage here. Overlord Speed did come out for Drujo in that downtime there, and Baneling Nest now for Drujo as well. So we'll have to see what he decides to do for that. I'm imagining just some like kind of Ling Bane, which I'm not sure how well that trades against Hellions. I don't think very well unless they can get that surround or fight on creep.
It doesn't even seem like he's going to build an armory. And there we go, the starport switching over to the tech lab. I assume that upgrade's going to start very soon. But I was wondering if we were going to see an armory so he could do a little Hellbat push at the front, which Ling Banes are actually really good against because Hellbats are slow. But they have a surprisingly low amount of health compared to how much damage Hellbats can deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess he doesn't have any medevacs either. So this is just going to be a simple 4 Hellion push with the Reaper. Maybe 6? Nope, just 4 Hellions. And this is really going to test the multitasking from Drujo, because he's going to have to worry about the Hellions at the front while dealing with the Liberator in the back.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hellions coming in now. Looks like they will get this Queen. Here come the Lings to try and save it, and the Hellions are forced back. Does lose a Hellion there, actually. A little bit of misfire there from excloud. Swooping in now, trying to snipe this Hellion, and do manage to pick it off. Lair finishing up right now for Drujo. And he does have Ling, Bane, and two Evo Chambers here, so he can go into some serious upgrades and just get an overwhelming force here.
The Hellion for the Queen trade, I think that's kind of nice for Drujo. Normally losing a Queen is pretty bad, but he still has 5 Queens. He went for a 6 Queen start. Losing 1 Queen isn't the end of the world. He's still going to be able to get that clear spread off. Still going to have transfuses if a bigger push tends to come by. And the Queens are actually going to be really nice for this Liberator. So good job by Drujo. Off to an early start. Off to a good early start.
And here come the Lings. Might be able to catch these Hellions here.
Good grenade.
Good grenade, but man, these Hellions are not taking favorable trades here, and looks like they will get cleaned up by these Lings. Not exactly what excloud wanted there. Going on a creep like that's definitely very dangerous for them. Inspire now coming out for Drujo, and not too much except for the Liberators to really like counter that force out in the open. He does have missile turrets in position already. Oh, actually, he doesn't have one at his natural, which could spell bad news for him.
Yes, that's true. He is going to have a fair amount of Liberators because he went for that early upgrade. But it's about keeping these Liberators alive. You can see this one right behind the natural. He should probably go in, try to poke around. The Spore Crawler is out of position, and with that +4 range, it's going to be hard to find a favorable position to actually take out this Liberator. Look how far away that is. That is ridiculous.
Wow.
David, Kim, what were you thinking?
Yeah, just brutalizing of these drones here. But I mean, he still has a 10-worker lead even after losing that bit there, which is just crazy. He's up almost 2 bases now. 3rd base only just now landing for excloud. And I think if Drujo gets a scout on this, he'll probably be able to deny it, but it doesn't look like he's wanting to go for anything like that. Corruptors coming out is the choice for Drujo, as well as +1 flyer attacks. So
very smart. I mean, when you see this Liberators, he knows the upgrade happened. No way a Liberator's that far away just on their own. And Corruptors are much stronger than Mutalisks, especially with the splash damage. So I really, really like that choice. Very smart by Drujo.
Yeah, this Liberator coming in here will get a few drone kills, but as soon as, Drujo realizes and sends these Corruptors over to clean this up. The Liberator might escape here. So good work from excloud there, getting that out to safety. 6 kills on that Liberator. And excloud did get a planetary at his 3rd base now, and is drone SCVing that up. +1 infantry attacks coming out for excloud here. No armor just yet. Might not be able to afford it just with this build.
I think Drujo is in a fantastic position right now. That was a really early 4th, almost a little bit too early, but excloud did not scout it with his Liberator, and so while it was sieging the natural, he just moved all his drones over to the 4th. No big deal. Yes, 11 drones went down, but already the drone count is 55 drones to 54 SCVs. It's not that bad. Only 2 orbital commands from excloud. Usually we'll see 3, and then they start going. But I think because he lost the Hellions and he saw the amount of Lings, he wants to be safe. So I like the planetary force in the 3rd, even though it's a little unfavorable for excloud.
Yeah, I agree. And here come the Lings now, going straight for this planetary. But I mean, excloud's army is here, so not too much getting done there for Drujo.
It's actually a nice little force. He's got Hellions, Marauders, Widow Mines. Liberators, Medivacs. That's a pretty solid forge. It's pretty safe versus everything. Can trade favorably well.
Yeah.
And Drujo might actually be in a little bit of trouble here, considering he doesn't have Mutalisk. He has Corruptors, which can attack the ground. So the Liberator and the Viking won't be that big of a deal, but the ground force is pretty strong.
Yeah, I think one thing that's important to note here is that excloud is supply box behind this, so there won't be any sort of train going on here. Also hitting before Baneling speed, and there's a huge surround and nice Widowmine hits. And the Lings go down, but here are the Banelings now, and he is on creep, so even without speed, these Banelings could still be dangerous.
The Widowmine is pretty clutch here. Without the Zergling reach around, that Widowmine could take out a lot of Banelings if Drujo's not careful. And I like the Marauder at the front. It's going to be able to absorb a lot of hits, and here we go again. Yep. Drujo getting the Baneling skin at very nice engagements here. Corruptors dominating the air. But again, they can't hit ground, so now these units are going to be able to pick off the remaining amount of Lings. And Drujo, I mean, it's no way game, but actually, no, he's going to clean it up. Yeah, good defense by Drujo. If we look at the units lost tab, he's definitely lost more, about 2,000 more than excloud. But he's had that fourth base up for a while now, and managed to secure his fifth in that time. So good plays by Drujo.
Yeah, and across the map, excloud only just now getting his third base saturated. So just all in all, Drujo's in a much better position here, getting mutas now. That will be able to get some serious harassment in. Nice scan there from excloud. Will spot the Mutalisk coming out. And I mean, all in all, I think that trade was very good for Drujo, especially considering he didn't have Baneling speed. And I think now Drujo, like, he can get his fifth up, like he has, and now he just can wait for and just choke excloud out of this game. Getting a swarm host there, I imagine that's a misclick.
Whoops. That'd be awesome though. The one swarm host harass, that'd be sweet.
Dude, special tactics, man.
I really like Drujo's position going into the late game. He got the melee upgrades, and he got a bunch of Corruptors, which means he can easily transition into Ultra Blue Lord, which is like the Zerg army. That's the golden armada for Zerg. So setting up, but the only problem is he has to survive until he gets there. And now we see excloud once again moving out, sees the Mutalisk, maybe able to pick up a Widowmine right there. Good pick off. Knows this army coming, and I think he'll be able to defend it maybe pretty well. I mean, that's just so many Corruptors, and they're not really doing anything right now.
Yeah, I think he kind of banked a little too much there on a serious Liberator force, which didn't, or just air, which didn't really happen. And here comes the engagement now. This bio getting right underneath, but nice Baneling hits. But like
very nice Baneling hits. That was great.
So only 3 units can shoot up here, but can shoot down here, but only 3 units of Exiles can shoot up. So I mean, these mutas kind of just get free reign. But so yeah, that army gets cleaned up for excloud, and suddenly it's 90 supply to 152. Not what you want to see for excloud here.
And what's also nice is that even though I was just kind of putting Drujo on blast with the amount of Corruptors, he's taking out Medivacs every single engagement, which is also really nice. That's when I was a Protoss player, I learned to never lose my Colossus, and to a lesser extent, that's kind of the same with Medivacs. If you can keep your Medivac account high, you can get Liberators, you don't have to keep rebuilding them. So very, very nice for Drujo. excloud, his main is mined out, but his fourth is up. You might want to transfer some SCVs. And I don't think that excloud is in that much trouble because he's got such a solid defense at the front of his natural with the 4 supply depots in the bunker and the planetary fortress at the third. So I don't know if Drujo will be able to break this, but he can definitely do some damage if he decides to go up the natural.
Yeah, absolutely. I think really Drujo doesn't even need to attack because his Ultralisk Cavern just finished up. So he could really just set up a contain here. And here's the engagement. excloud's army getting caught outside of that wall we talked about. Huge surround here for Drujo, and this army is getting shredded. Nice job getting up the wall, but I mean, this army's just going to tear through it.
That was just bad positioning from excloud. He didn't know the army was coming, and Drujo just got lucky attacking at that exact same time. That's pretty devastating for excloud, because now Drujo is going to be able to do a ton of damage, and this might be game.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's losing production facilities, he's losing his static defense, his natural has to lift off, might even get killed. He still has 2 mining bases here, but these Lings are going to clean up everything. You're losing your armory, you're losing barracks, you're losing supply depots. I mean, all this infrastructure that's so important for the Terran army is just dying. He might be able to make a hold here on the top of the ramp, but it's just brutal.
Yeah, he's lucky that those banelings aren't going up and crashing into the Spidey Ghost. Loses the command center. That's a little rough. And meanwhile, Drujo at home, getting his upgrades, securing his 6th, I believe. So very nice. But excloud does have that 4th that Drujo doesn't really know about, and that's going to hurt. If there's one race to come back from being behind, it's Terran. So he really either needs to kill excloud right now or discover that 4th.
Yeah, nice job puking on that missile turret there. And, I mean, oh yeah, this planetary is getting repaired here, so not going to go down. Ultralisk now coming across the map, and yeah, this base will eventually die. It's going to take its sweet time doing it. Excloud's army here trying to force them off, but this is real... Actually, there's not too much ground here. So nice work from excloud there, pushing him off. 46 Lings in production here. Looks like a second Spire coming down. Unless the first one got sniped and I missed it.
Nope. Getting the second Spire right next to the first. None is a greater Spire just yet, which I would have liked to see, but it seems like he likes the Ultralisk route, and he doesn't... Actually, no, he has a lot of minnows. But I just want to say, pat on the back to that Planetary Fortress. He's got 68 kills, and Planetaries are just so strong. You just can't hope to break them without the Crackling upgrade or Ultras. You just can't do it with your ordinary Lings.
Yeah, just great work from that Planetary. Really putting in that overtime and keeping excloud in this game. 3 medevac drop here on the top side of the map. Barely gets spotted? I don't actually know if that got seen by that Overlord.
I don't think so.
Yeah, his army's not coming back, so it does not look like that's been seen. excloud thanking his lucky stars here. And now here comes the medevacs. They will fly right by this 5th base. Or 6th? I don't even know. I can't count that high. So the 3 medevacs are just waiting in the wings here. I would definitely like to see them swoop in now, especially with this Zerg army moving across the map.
He scouted the 4th, so...
And here they go.
has his next target.
Yeah, Lings moving in on the 4th base. Another planetary here, the bane of the Zerg army. 3 medevacs now dropping in the main base of Drujo while this planetary is taken out for excloud.
Yeah, even without the Ultras, he managed to kill it. He was able to get that surround before the SCVs were able to get their big surround.
Yeah, Greater Spire coming out now, as well as the Crackling upgrade. This drop is only partially unloaded and not doing any damage yet. And only now it moves in, trying to snipe this hive. And it looks like he will get it. Nice pick from him.
Dude, the Lings come out at a perfect time. But not really. Kind of the perfect time for excloud, because they will pick them off one by one. He is going to focus down the hive, but... there's no reason to knock down the hive unless you get tech with it. You need to take out the Ultros Cavern. You need to take out the Evo Chambers, and you need to take out the Greater Spire. And good positioning. I really like this. Transitioning to the 3rd base, getting in between the mineral line and the buildings, so the Ultras can't really come out.
Yeah, kind of spreading out there and letting those Ultras get free hits, and down go the medevacs, so this drop will get cleaned up. I mean, I think it's a nice idea, but with the tech still being up, not too much really lost there. Really, all he lost was essentially a hatchery. I guess he can't.
Well, he did take out the Greater Spire.
That's true. Okay, I didn't catch that. So yeah, that is pretty huge.
Oh, look at this Overlord to the bottom left. It scouts kind of a semi-hidden base from excloud, which is kind of a bummer because as excloud, you can't have your army cover your 3rd while covering that hidden base.
Yeah,
so Drujo just may think about just taking it out real quick. It's not even a planetary or an orbital.
Yeah, I think here excloud kind of realizing that that's a possibility and moving his army more forward out on the map. But that could come back to bite him because we know that this army is in the top side of the map, so could get a nice surround or even a run-by with no wall if it's natural anymore. And now here comes the Zerg army right as the Terran army is moving out. This is so unfortunate here.
It's going to be a good Widowmine hit, though. 10 kills right away. He has some Liberators at home. I really like how he's transitioning to kind of massive.
Oh, no!
But he's able to get inside the main base. That's devastating.
That's all this production is going to go down, and if it lifts off, it gets killed by this Corruptor force. So unfortunate, and meanwhile, excloud is now committed to a base trade. Pushing across the map, trying to rely on this secret base, kind of semi-secret base, and looks like Drujo is going to pull back and just kill this army.
I think that's a very smart move. That is an ideal position for excloud to be in. When you know your army's inferior, you want the base trade, especially as a Terran. You can just lift off a couple buildings. Yeah, there's a lot of corruptors, but you can buy a lot of time for you to kill the Zerg structures. So I think that's a smart move by pulling back from Drujo, because he does not want that. He just wants to play a straight-up game, keep his bases safe, and kill this army on his own terms.
Yeah, and I mean, right here is the perfect like descriptor kind of this game for Drujo. He loses this base, but he's still up in economy. He's still up on bases and is leading heavily in supply. Dice Widowmine hit there, and the Ultras are trying to push onto this Bio Force. Liberator's trading very well with these Corruptors. Corruptor Force is going down, but meanwhile the Bio, nice kite, getting rid of, I believe, 3 Ultras there. And now the rest of the Zerg army is waiting, kind of just... And there it goes. This army is severely oversent for excloud, and it is having to kite back. Liberators did manage to clean up the Corruptors there, and now this army is still kiting. Very nice micro here from excloud, but it does finally get cleaned up by the Baneling Ultralisk Force.
It's not enough. He needed to clean up those Corruptors and then have his army reconnect with the Liberators. He kind of was a little bit overzealous with that Bio, kind of trying to trade with the Zerg Force again. He really needed to reconnect with the Liberators so they can get into that strong, I don't know what you would call it, the immobile position, the sieging, to kind of take care of the Ultralisks. And now here we go, the hidden base, kind of going down for excloud. It didn't do too much, but it gave him a steady income while it was there. And I think excloud's in a lot of trouble. I mean, 130 supply down, I don't know how you come back from this.
Yeah, like his income is below 1,000 minerals a minute, below even 50 gas per minute most of the time. Just a brutal position to be in. And I mean, really, Drujo just kind of has to 1A. I mean, not much here for excloud to really do. And yeah, I mean, I think Drujo realizes that and is going to push across the map here. Very strong showing from both players. I think excloud just kind of fell behind, especially when those Lings got up inside his natural and main and cleaned up all that structures.
Yeah, I also think the kind of greedy opening from Drujo really paid off this game. He was able to get some good upgrades out, able to get still a very large corruptor count, but got that large corruptor count at the beginning of the game, and it just, everything worked out really well. The kind of mispositioning from excloud at his natural also really helped. It was just good play from Drujo. Good job having that killer instinct.
Yeah, just great job there. Ultralisk now closing in on that Bio Force, trying to micro its heart out.
I don't know, 7-3 Ultras are too strong,
yeah,
especially against 2-1 Bio.
They're just brutal. I mean, I kind of like what excloud was trying at various points in this game of just kind of hiding Widow Mines, like this 33 kill one right here that just got 36. But I mean, it's just too little too late. They didn't really get anything too much done throughout the game. Ultralisk does fall down there. These 4 Marauders fighting to the last breath.
This is some fantasy games right here. And there we go.
That's game.
Drujo taking it 1-0 for Born Gosu. Very well played by both players. It's always fun to see kind of the lower league macro games. Now let's go on to game 2. But first, let's send it off to Tech 4, our host of end all hosts. Let's take it away.